Hey everyone, this is First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Pan. Just wanted to do a quick update on the potential for even more significant flooding than we've already seen. I know it seems hard to imagine, but the situation tonight is really becoming worrisome because we've seen anywhere from 3 to as much as 6 inches of rain in the North Carolina mountains. So I'm looping the radar here, and I'll show you why I'm concerned, because we've still got this upper low, which is sitting back here essentially over northeast Georgia, and then we've got these big plumes of moisture that are still ramping up into the mountains, and then you get this big batch back here in parts of basically North Carolina into Georgia and South Carolina. We've got upslope flow, which is going to continue to bring just unprecedented amounts of moisture into the North Carolina mountains. So when you throw in the fact that you're starting to see these bands form, and then you have the upslope going into the mountains. That's why we've seen so much flooding areas on the eastern slopes of the Appalachians and the Blue Ridge. And this thing tonight is actually just going to pivot right up I-85 over the next couple of days. So this persistent upslope flow, we call it, is just going to continue to dump heavy rain. You can see I looped this, and every time you see one of these flooded homes here, that's a report of flash flooding or a river flood or houses being washed away, bridges. We've seen mudslides. So if you live in the western part of the state, you really, if you live in a low-lying area, flood-prone area, I highly recommend you head to higher ground right now. This may be the time that we'll have to call for some evacuations in some spots of the western part of the state. Local officials got a good handle on it, but this is something not to mess around with. We got almost 5 to 6 inches last weekend. You throw 5 to 6 inches more this weekend, and possibly more, because when you look at the low, which is sitting over eastern Alabama, moving towards Atlanta, I just don't like the looks of any of this right now, because this onshore flow is just the worst case scenario when you have a slow moving system and you got deep tropical moisture coming into the region. And let me show you what this looks like. I'm going to pan out a little bit here. This is the radar loop, obviously, but let me show you the water vapor loop, because I think this is going to give you a good indication just how much water vapor there is. Okay, this is the upper low, real clearly to see. But when you look out to the east, there's a ton of moisture lurking offshore. I mean, there's plenty of moisture for this system to work with and wrap into the area. So this isn't going to be one of those things where it's in and out of here. So flash flooding, a big concern overnight tonight through Monday into Tuesday, possibly even lingering into Wednesday. It just depends on where this low ends up going. So please, if you live in the western part of the state, our western North Carolina mountains and foothills, go ahead and think about, getting to a safer area, especially if you live in a typically flood-prone area. And by all means, if you're driving tonight and tomorrow, do not drive into any standing water. You don't know if the road's there, you know how deep it is. The saying goes, it sounds like a cliche, but it'll save your life. Turn around, don't drown. Of course, Megan will have complete details tonight at 11, and we'll have coverage starting tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. on NBC Charlotte. And of course, I'll be on the air starting tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. I'm sure we'll have complete coverage and probably some horrible video coming from the mountains. I just think by the time we wake up tomorrow, this could be a big, big, big disaster in some areas. So we'll keep things up to date on Facebook and Twitter. I'm sending out the warnings, river flood warnings, flash flood warnings. They keep getting extended into the overnight. As those change, stay tuned to my feeds, and I'll keep things up to date throughout the night. Hope you're having a good Sunday otherwise, but again, please be safe out there, folks. This is the real deal. Flash flooding, a big concern in the western part of the state.